So I just got back from a 3-week vacation and I didn't have anybody watch my plants because it was the first time I'd be leaving them for that long, so I just kind of wanted to see how they would do. And I know 3 weeks isn't a super long time to leave your plants, and some people even say that they go that long in between waterings anyways. But here in Texas, it's been quite hot, so I knew that they would dry out quickly, and this was just kind of a test to see how they would do, and just, yeah, it was just really a test, and I wanted to share that information with you guys to see how your plants might hold up if they in like a hotter kind of climate area. So I just got back today and I literally expected everything to be dead, to be completely honest. Like, I prepared for that mentally, but they held up a lot better than I thought they would. There's obviously a couple that are really in poor shape that, you know, might not bounce back completely, that I might just need to like take cuttings from to save. But I did a couple things to prepare for that before I even left. So I'm gonna share those with you first, and then we're gonna go through my plants and see how they're doing. So the first thing I did right before I left to make sure that my plants had a good chance of surviving was watering each one of them. And it was kind of the thing where if it needed a good drink like it normally does, I would give that. And then also, if I had watered it recently, I maybe just gave it a little bit more water just to keep the soil wet for a little longer, considering that it would probably dry out within a week and a half, and then it would go another week and a half without getting any water. When I look around at all my plants though, they all seem very thirsty and very droopy, so it looks like, although it might not have killed them, the lack of water, they definitely could have gone with the watering probably last week sometime. But honestly, I feel like plants generally bounce back a bit easier from underwatering versus overwatering, so that's not the biggest concern to me. There were a couple plants that I had though that I knew would dry out really quickly, so I made a little contraption to see if it would work to like keep them watered most of the time. I'll show you what that is and let you know if it worked, where it went wrong, if it did, and all that sort of stuff. So what I did for those plants that needed a bit of extra water was I filled this vase up with water and I put little strings, like twine kind of type strings in them. So it connected with the water down there, and then it basically traveled all the way through the string into the pot, because I put the end of this into the pot, kind of wrapped it around once or twice. And it worked quite well. Those plants, they are dry now because the water started up here at like the top basically, and it's now all the way at the bottom. So I think that it just got too shallow for it to actually properly work, where it traveled up the entire thing and like made it to the pot, because I tested this out beforehand to even see if it would travel up the entire string, and it did. So I think it's just the water got too low, and that's why the plants that it was watering dried out. But those plants honestly don't look too bad for being dry, considering that they like to stay in wetter soil a lot. So I'm pretty pleased with this method. I did leave it on a windowsill, which was kind of stupid because that's gonna dry it out and make the water level go down really quickly compared to just having it anywhere else. But we're actually gonna dive into that next. The next thing I did was actually move all my plants to a different spot. Most of my plants are right next to a windowsill or really close to a sunny spot, and I knew that it would be really warm when I was gone. And when you have a plant really close to the sun or really close to the light, it's gonna dry out quicker. That's the way it works. So I moved them all away from the windowsill, and as you can see behind me, they're all like on my kitchen counter and in front of my TV and just everywhere that I would never keep plants. That's where I moved them all to. And they're still getting decent amount of sun. It's just not nearly as warm as it would be if they were in their original spots. And like I said, this was just to keep the soil a bit more wet for longer and not let it dry out so quick. Actually, if we backtrack real quick, I did wipe the leaves down with like an insecticide soap right before I left, just as part of the cleaning kind of routine that I do with my plants, just to kind of add a bit more of a preventative measure if the plants did maybe get bugs, or maybe if they would have. I'm hoping the insecticidal soap wash kind of helped keep them at bay. But like I said, all in all, my plants did a lot better than I expected them to. That was really all I did to prep them for me leaving. It wasn't a whole lot, just because I didn't know what else I could really do. I think if I had like a greenhouse or something like that, like, you know, one of the indoor IKEA greenhouse things, that I would maybe do a bit more to prepare them for when I left. But let me just show you the few that I'm like most proud of that did really well while I was gone, and then a couple that just really did not do very well. Before that though, I have a quick tip. If you have a plant that you really like, and you really just don't want to die while you go, I suggest taking a couple cuttings of it before you leave. And I'll show you an example one second. Now this plant isn't dead yet, it's just very dry. It's my micans right here. And it's just very, I'm sure it's gonna bounce back. It's gonna lose a bit of the top leaves here, but it's just another couple days and it might not have been so good, to be honest. So I knew that going into this, and I worked really hard to find a Micans when I got that one. So I took a couple cuttings of it and put it in water because the water just doesn't seem to evaporate as quickly as the soil dries out sometimes. So I figured that would be a better option. And here's the cuttings. So they're super healthy, and they actually have some new growth points down at the bottom and tons of new roots, and they didn't even have roots when I left. So it's kind of fun to come back to cuttings that were unrooted before and now they are rooted. And then you can have a whole little plant to start over with if your plant does die. But yeah, I always think you should be able to take some cuttings. Even if you come home and the plant's like on the brink, you usually can, you know, take a couple cuttings from the plant if you need to save it. So I think the least affected plants, and just the ones that look the exact same basically from when I left, were my Hoyas. This is my Crimson Princess, and I think it pushed out 2 new leaves on 2 stems while I was gone, but like, I mean, it looks healthy as ever. You would never be able to tell that this was left for 3 weeks without any sort of care whatsoever. So yeah, I wasn't expecting the Hoya to do super well. And then the other Hoya that I have is this Puku Kalix, and it has a little tiny leaf up here, but other than that, nothing else. Like the leaves down here firmed up a bit and they weren't firm when I left. But other than that, it looks the exact same. The tendril's not much longer. It does have some aerial roots coming out over here on the stem. And it actually looks like it might have a new growth point down here, so that's super fun. But yeah, I mean, those held up super well, and they are kind of just the ones that didn't change at all since I left. They kind of just look the exact same basically from when I did leave them. And then one that I did not expect to do very well, but it ended up doing pretty well, is my little Monstera. There's no fenestrations on this. It's literally the smallest little baby ever. But these were the, let me show you real quick. These were the leaves when I left, like the newest leaves or the biggest leaves. Just they had a bunch of small leaves, and it pushed out some bigger new growth, and these are the new biggest leaves that it has. So I didn't expect it to grow that much. While I was gone, it put out 3 new leaves, so that's super exciting. It definitely needs a drink, and it's leaning to one side just because of how I positioned it, but it did super well, which I'm super happy about. Okay, the next one I'm actually probably the most happy about, just because I have struggled with this plant since I bought it, but it put out an entirely new leaf without any issues on it, because every single new leaf I've gotten since I've gotten this plant has been very like wrinkly. It's gotten stuck. It's just been like deformed in some way, which is fine. It's just not very, you can tell it's not very healthy. But it's my Macaulay's Finale. This little leaf is new from when I left, and let me show you the leaf before. This was the leaf before the newest leaf, and it was the one that like just never fully unraveled, and I tried to save it or whatever. But that's just such a pretty new leaf, and there's another one on the way, and I don't know, maybe it just really does need full-on neglect. I have like 2 more plants that did really well, and then I'll go on to the ones that didn't do so well. There's tons that did just like decent, you know, they're fine, they're not like bad or anything, but these are just the ones that like grew a ton, so I'm super happy about them. But this little philodendron, just the heartleaf philodendron, it filled out so much since I was gone, because I propagated it right before I left, so it wasn't very full like the trailing bit. But like when you look at this, you wouldn't be able to tell that you've left it and that it's been needing water probably for weeks. So yeah, I'm super pleased about that one. And then the last one is actually my Philodendron Burrow Marks, and let me show you the new growth on that. I think I have a spider living on this one, which is kind of cool because I don't really have to worry as much about bugs. Which I love. But this one put out this massive full leaf at the front here. Don't know if I'll be able to get it to focus. Look how big that is though. It's literally about as big as my head, and I'm so happy about it. And then there's another leaf on the way on that stalk, but it looks like it's put out like 3 new leaves since I've been gone on that one stem. And I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos where I talk about this plant, but it only was growing from like 1, maybe 2 stalks in the entire pot, so I didn't know what exactly was wrong with it. But since I've been gone, it actually has started growing from like 2 other stalks as well. So it seems like it's doing a lot better than when I left it, which is super exciting. And this is like one of my only big plants that I have, so I just really want him to get really big and full. And it looks like he's doing just that. So I'm super happy about it, super pleased. Now on to plants that didn't do so well. And I'm sorry about this lighting situation here. I've got some open blinds and I just need that light in here right now. But my strawberry begonia has seen better days. And if I show you the top, it looks like someone sat on it. And I know this one prefers to like be in wetter soil, so that's probably why. And I don't know if it will perk right back up, just because this one probably looks the worst out of all my plants, and just the color on it's basically gone. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I did take a couple propagations from this, so hopefully we'll be able to salvage something from it. But yeah, this one was a bummer. It just looks a bit sad, so yeah, we'll see. The rest of the plants that I have are basically super wilted and just they look like they'll like perk up with a bit of water and then maybe lose a couple of leaves. So I'm not gonna show you every single one of that just because I don't wanna bore you to death. But I did wanna show you probably the most dramatic out of those ones. And I didn't expect this one to be the most dramatic just because the rest of them weren't dramatic, because I have 2 of these ones, or 3 or so. But it's my obstifolia. It's completely like wilted over. I don't know that this is going to stand back up straight when I water it. I doubt it, honestly, just because of how, yeah, I don't know. It's not a Photonia. It's not gonna just perk right back up. I just see that being very unlikely, but we'll give it a shot. And I'll let you guys know if it does. You can check back over on my Instagram if you wanna see if it does, because I will definitely post before and after pictures of this one. So what I'm gonna do is go through, water every single one of them, and then check the leaves while I water, because although I don't see any signs of pests in my initial check through, because I did just out of habit go through and check all my plants when I got home, I need to check them again, and then probably give them like a rinse in the sink or something like that, just so I can, you know, give the leaves a good clean without having to go through and scrub every single one, because that would actually take 2 days probably to do every single one. And it's already evening time, so that just wouldn't work out for me today. So what I decided to do first was actually go through and prune and just kind of clean up the dead bits that were on a load of my plants. And as you can see, since my plants were all kind of located on a spot that wasn't their usual spot, they reached for the sun a lot more because they weren't very close to that sun. So my oxalis right here, you can see, has gotten very leggy and started reaching towards the light because of where I put it. Usually I do rotate it a little bit to kind of maintain more of an even look, but it just doesn't happen like that all the time. So I'm going through and just checking all the plants and, like I said, removing any of the damage that I see there. I like to remove the little sheaths that the philodendron leaves grow into. So I went through and removed all the dead leaves and all the little dead crispy sheaths as well, because those tend to just fall off and onto the floor or into the soil, and I don't like having dead bits in my soil, just because I feel like that's what bugs love to like just munch on and stuff like that. This was another plant, my bigger Hartley philodendron, that did quite well considering how dry it was and just how much light it wasn't getting, basically. I was expecting it to dry out a lot quicker because I do think it's quite root bound, and root bound pots tend to dry out a lot quicker than just normal pots with a normal amount of roots in them. I luckily didn't find any pests on this one, although I will keep my eye out for them. This one wasn't as dry as some of my other plants, so I didn't think there would be as many pests on these ones. So my marble queen was in a pretty pitiful state. It lost about 2 leaves, I think, and the leaves were just very droopy. So I gave that a good water and let it soak for a long time. You can see the pot was so light that it literally started floating up in the water. And yeah, I just started watering basically everything, and the marble queen was pretty standard in terms of condition across all my plants. They were all very droopy, and most of them lost at least 1 leaf. There's a few exceptions, obviously. Here we have a closer look at my micans. It was in a pretty shocking state, and I'm just going to go through and remove a couple of the leaves that were obviously dead or dying. I'm hoping the rest of it bounces back, and actually when I'm recording this, it did bounce back quite well. I just have to keep an eye on like the new growth and that sort, because it was quite small, the new growth. It might still lose a couple leaves because the leaves aren't yellow right now doesn't mean that they won't turn yellow later, just with the shock and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it did actually end up bouncing back quite well. And then I also always have those cuttings of it as well. And then right here we have my neon pothos, which used to be really full on the top, but it has lost about 3 or 4 of its leaves, so I'm just plucking off the ones that are actually dead and then chopping off the yellow ones. And as you can see, the rest of the plant is very, very droopy and just a lot sadder than it usually looks. And then here we have a little watering montage of all the plants that I had. As you can see, I did water the Monstera a bit at the top as well, just to kind of speed up the watering process because it does take a while when they haven't been watered in so long. And my Scindapsus actually all did quite well. My Exotica did lose a couple leaves, but all of my cuttings and then my main plant of this Scindapsus did really well. And then this I think this is a Pylean Moon Valley, was very dry, but I had it right on the windowsill and you can see some of those red veins actually came out quite a lot, which I did like. And when I looked at it closer, it actually did flower, but they had dried out since. And I don't know if flowering is such a good thing with those ones because some plants flower when they're stressed out, so that might have been the case, but this one did flower and it did pop back quite well after I watered it. This Birkin actually did end up having spider mites, and it was the only one with spider mites that I saw out of my collection, so that's a good sign, and he's currently quarantined from the rest of them until I can tackle and just check what extent he has been infected. Like I said earlier, I checked my Hoya and the soil was still wet, so I didn't even bother watering him. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if anything, I hope that this showed you that you can actually probably leave your plants for 3 weeks without watering them and they will probably still bounce back. Like I said, there's probably going to be a few casualties in terms of leaves and the plant might not be as full as it was before, but worst comes to worst, you can leave it for 3 weeks. And if you want to see updates on how my plants are doing and how they're bouncing back from this, you can always follow me down on Instagram at The Petite Plant, and I'll be posting updates all the time on those. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.